I want to start this video off with a full game spoiler warning. If you've not completed Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, I suggest that you come back to this video after you've done so. In this video, I'll be covering the current strategy for the free category of Lost in a Dark Dream. If you want more background on this guide series, I'll have a link in the description to the first video in the series where I talk more about the structure of the series. I'll also have other useful links for mechanics and other general information in the description, as well as a link to a Pastebin with a written version of the build and strategy that I'll be covering in this video. With that out of the way, let's get into the build. The part that we're going to be running for this TA is going to be Sharla, Dunban, Shulk. For the equipment on Sharla, you're going to be wanting to run an Endless Rifle with First Attack Plus, Attack Stability, and Attack Plus, as well as 2 Strength Up Gems, Initial Tension, and Quick Step. The gems here are mostly just focused on increasing Sharla's damage output, with First Attack Plus being used to give us a nice burst of damage at the start of the battle. For gear on Dunban, you're going to be wanting to run the Wyvern Cutlass with Physical Defense down, First Attack Plus, and Weapon Power, as well as 2 Strength Up Gems, Haste from the Glory Gauntlets, Initial Tension, and Quick Step. One thing of note here is that I'm running First Attack Plus instead of Double Attack. This is because the main bottleneck of this TA strategy is Dunban using Peerless, so we want to have him not get double attacks so that he can use Peerless more quickly. Finally for Shulk, we're going to be running the Monado 3 with Physical Defense down, Double Attack, and Weapon Power, and for Armor Gems we're going to be running 2 Strength Up Gems, Haste, and Quick Step. The gems here are pretty simple. Shulk is just here to inflict physical defense down and do a little bit of extra damage with the auto attacks as he does so. For arts that we're going to be running, on Sharla we're going to be running Monado Buster, Berserker, and Magnum Charge. If you happen to have Ponspector Sword Drive, you can use that as well for a 4th art, but I don't have it on this file, so I just use Buster again at the end. For Dunban, the only art that we actually want him to use is Peerless, but as usual with these guides, I recommend putting Steel Strike, Gale Slash, and Soaring Tempest on him as well to help encourage him to use Peerless at the start of the battle. If you run different art combinations, he might not use Peerless, though there are multiple that can work to get him to use it. This is just my preferred art, or set of arts to ensure that he does use it. And finally for Shulk, the arts don't matter. I'm just running Backslash since it's his strongest art. And I'm also running Hell Dive Claw because I think that the icon for it's cool, but Shulk will never use art, so it doesn't really matter. Finally for skill trees, we're just going to be focusing on damage for everyone as well as quick steps specifically on Dunban. Both Shulk and Sharla are going to be running double strength up skills for Murky, but Dunban will be running the quick step skill for Murky because, as I said before, him using Peerless is kind of the bottleneck of the strategy, so we want to make sure that happens as soon as possible. You can go ahead and copy my skills here if you want to, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and scroll through the rest of them and move on to the next section. So that's all there is for the builds. Now let's go ahead and move on to the video review section of this video. So in this section of the video, we're going to be talking through my current PB as of the time of recording this video. So the strategy for this TA execution-wise is actually pretty simple. Essentially, at the start of the TA, we're going to want to move slightly to the right so that we're out of Dunban's way so that he can quickly walk up and auto-attack the Mammoth. After we've moved slightly to the right, we're going to want to use Buster, Berserker, Magnum Charge, and then Buster again. If you have Ponspector Sword Drive, you can use Ponspector Sword Drive instead of another Buster at the end, because Ponspector Sword Drive is a little bit stronger than Buster, which will give you a little bit better chance of killing. However, using Monado Buster again is more than sufficient. So we'll go ahead and just watch this real quickly, and I'll kind of talk through it again as it happens. So we'll go ahead and move here to the right. I actually go a little bit further than I realistically needed to, which does waste a little bit of time, but at the end of the day, it's not the biggest deal in the world. So use Buster, Berserker, Magnum Charge, and then, so here you're not going to want to use Buster immediately. You're going to want to wait for Dunban to start using Peerless. And this is because without the buff from Peerless, you're not actually going to kill the Mammoth. So you can see here I do delay for a short little bit to wait for Dunban, and then I use Monado Buster to get the kill. So overall, like I said, pretty simple execution-wise, but there is that little thing with Peerless that you do have to watch out for. I'll just go ahead and let this play out as I do the outro, but I do hope that you found this video interesting and useful if you were at all interested in running this category. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me down in the comment section, and I will see you in the next video. Have a good one.